When you watch the new supply, you're ascribing to the new reality that the narcissist is designing for the next person. I can't believe he moved on so fast. I can't believe she was already with another person. I can't believe the narcissist, after my relationship with them, has already moved on. Is already with someone new, and it seems like that new relationship is perfect. Everything seems to be great. Like they're actually doing the things I wanted us to do. They're getting the therapy. They're working on this. They're doing X, Y, and Z, and they're fulfilling all the hopes and dreams that I had. How's that fair? How does that make sense? Why does it seem like they're winning because they're out with their soulmate, the best person ever, and I'm here still feeling like I'm stuck, not knowing how to get over this person, not knowing what's going on in my head and feeling crazy because of it? What's happening? Do you ever have some of those questions? Are those ever things that go through your mind when you've gotten out of a toxic relationship and all of a sudden they're with a new person? You're like, wait a second, like, how does this make sense? Like, I thought I was that person. I thought that I was the love of their life, the person that they adored, the person they wanted to spend their life with forever. And now they're with someone else. And you see that fast change, and you see what looks like a perfect change to be a different person for a new supply. A lot of times people want to ask and they want to talk about the idea of, like, does the new supply get it better? What's going on with the new supply? Like, is the new supply actually better? Am I the problem? Am I the toxic one? Am I the narcissist? And so many thoughts go through your mind and through your head of, like, what's actually going on. If you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness, growth, healing, and change. We do that in a couple different ways, providing free content on multiple platforms, meeting with people one-on-one across the globe, and also producing content that we can put on the NARC app to be able to provide courses and education so people can understand what's going on. NARC app also provides accountability of no contact, of journaling, of asking advice from other survivors, to interact with other people so you understand that you're not alone. You're not. But the narcissist wants you to feel like you're alone, like you're isolated from everything else going on. A lot of times people wonder about the new supply. Does the new supply get it better? It's probably 50% of the time when I meet with people in one-on-ones and go through different things, and they're asking and they're wondering, does it actually happen? Do they get it better? You see, a lot of times the narcissist leaves, or maybe you discard, or maybe they discard you. Either way, there's a break in the relationship and they end up going to the next person. What you'll notice a lot of times is it's very quick. A lot of times you'll see a narcissist leave you one day and be with someone the next day. Leave you and be with someone within the next week. Leave you and be engaged within a month. You'll see that move very fast. Oftentimes akin to the same way that it was fast at the beginning of your relationship. But when it gets into a new relationship, once they've broken off with you or once they've left you and they move in with someone else, they get with someone else, you have to understand a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, when they get with a new relationship, that relationship had already either formed or was already being groomed before they got out of the relationship with you. Oftentimes there's already a level of them already being in a relationship, or at least securing the opportunity of being able to be with someone before they kicked you out, or before you left them. You see, when they go to the next supply, what you normally start to see is you get an outside view of love bombing, of future faking and gaslighting. And you start to see that, especially if you're watching their social media or you're interacting with their family or different things like that, you start to see and watch what you're going to notice is an aspect of love bombing. Maybe they're the transitional supply. Got a video on that. Maybe they're transitional supply and it's only words, so you don't see it overtly. But a lot of times people see it overtly. They see it on social media. They see the trips. They see every place that they're going. All these different types of things, how it looks like so perfect, how it looks so great. And what you're seeing is love bombing from the outside. You don't think of it that way because when you were in the moment, that love bombing felt real. But now you get to see it as an outsider's perspective. A lot of times when they're with a new supply and you see all those things, the posts on social media, and you're like, wait a second, like you never posted about me, now you're posting about them? Like what's going on with that? A lot of it is vindictive in nature of let me do this to prove to the other person, to prove to the victim that they were wrong. Narcissists will think through that. They will actually go to the idea of like, let me post this because I know it's going to show them. I'll show them. I'll show them that I'm actually happy this time. This is actually the real one. This is my 20th relationship, but this is the one. And so they'll try to post something to be able to hurt you and to make you doubt yourself. This is where a lot of times people get into the rumination phase and getting out of the addictive cycle where they start to wonder and think like, am I the crazy one? Am I the toxic one? Because they look happy with that next person. Like, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the narcissist. I have a lot of people that wonder that. They put so much out on social media a lot of times to be able to convince you and to be able to convince the world that they found the one, that they found the best person. The thing is, they try really hard to be able to convince for a couple different reasons. One is to be able to hurt you and make you doubt. Okay. 2 is to establish that mask for everybody else that's in their life, to keep that facade. And 3, as they establish that and as they build that mask up, what it does is it locks in that next supply. So when they start to pull back, the next supply is stuck because of everything that's out on social media, because of everything that they've told their family members and things like that, of like how it's a great relationship, great marriage, whatever it might be. And as they pull that back, then everybody's going to look at that new supply and be like, no, you're crazy. Like, you tell everybody it's great. Like, we've seen how it's great. It's another form of manipulation that a lot of times doesn't get talked about. And it's very manipulative in nature, but also it sets the person up. It sets the next victim up of, in one sense, being screwed because they can't really tell people. They don't feel like they can tell people because they're in the middle of being confused and doubting themselves of like, wait a second, like they just pulled back their praise, love, and affection. Like, what did I do wrong? And instead of taking an outside look at it, they start to try to do everything they can to fix it until all of a sudden it's so far down the drain that they realize, now if I come out and say something, like people are going to judge me and think I'm stupid for staying. And so it's another way to trap them. When you watch your ex-narcissist with the new supply, what you're doing is you're signing on for production. You're agreeing to watch the next show that's going to go up that's completely false, that's completely fake, but you're going to do that and you're going to watch that and you're going to wonder, and it's going to change a lot of your thought process and sometimes bring you back to the narcissist or make you to the place where you're not healthy, you're not healed, and you're not able to move through that pain. Because you're ascribing to a new reality that the narcissist is creating for the next person. That's all it is. When you watch the new supply, you're ascribing to the new reality that the narcissist is designing for the next person. A lot of times people wonder, it seems like they're giving them all my hopes and dreams, all the things that I wanted, all the things that I imagined. Like, I wanted this particular house, I wanted this particular car, I wanted to go on this trip, I wanted to do this together. And it seems like they're doing that for the next person. You're like, why? Like, that's what I wanted. Why couldn't that have given it to me? And a lot of times people twist this thought and they think because they're doing that, that means I'm not good enough, which absolutely has nothing to do with it. I've got some videos about that. But like, a lot of times people think like, wait a second, like they're giving them that dream vacation that I wanted. Why wasn't I good enough that I couldn't get that dream vacation? And it has nothing to do with your worth, has nothing to do with your value. It has all to do about the narcissist and how they're manipulating the next person and how they're trying to hurt you. It has nothing to do with your worth. Okay? What it does is, number one, it does it to show you up and to hurt you. That's all it is let me do this to be able to show you I don't need you, to be able to show you I'm better than you, to be able to show you all these different things, and to hurt you. It's that intentional. Second thing is to triangulate and abuse the other person. A lot of times people don't talk about this because they don't really think of it. Think of it this way. Let's say you always wanted to go on a week vacation to the beach, okay, because you love the beach, absolutely love the beach. And then you see them go on a week vacation to the beach. What you don't realize sometimes is the new supply might actually hate the beach. They might actually want to go to the mountains or Grand Canyon or go overseas or whatever it might be. They might actually hate the beach. And it is another form of manipulating and dragging that out with the next person. Like, it's for the narcissist, it's an amazing plan. I can go to the beach and I can hurt my ex, and I can go to the beach and I can frustrate my current partner, and I can like breadcrumb and like drag them along thinking like, oh, we'll go to the mountains like some other time. But I really want to go to the beach. And so it starts to build even that dependent nature on the other person and gets really confusing really fast. They'll do it to show you up, to hurt you, to triangulate and abuse the other person. And a lot of times they'll do it just because they're plain not creative. A lot of times narcissists are not creative when they go from cycle to cycle, from person to person. Sometimes the mentality is like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. If I can keep manipulating and getting someone every single time using this system, then I'm going to do it. And that's what a lot of narcissists will do. They'll use the same thing over and over. For people that see narcissists that have those extreme cycles or fast cycles, and they start comparing notes with different survivors, they start realizing, I got the same text, I got the same words, I got the same pictures, all these different things start to match up. What you have to understand as well is that the mask a lot of times is different for different supplies. Sometimes this is what confuses people. Of like for me, we were never on social media. For them, they're always on social media. The next person probably won't be on social media. It'll alternate. It'll change because it depends on the person's hopes, wishes, and desires. Because that narcissist oftentimes builds that mask for that person. They'll build a mask where they identify with certain things for you of like, oh my gosh, like we're so the same. We're so connected in so many different ways. And the next person, it's like complete polar opposite. You're like, they flip, they change their personality, their desires. And a lot of times you'll see that because the narcissist is doing that to construct a new mask for the next person. There's the same characteristics underneath, but it's packaged in a different packaging. It's literally what it is. Last thing a lot of times people wonder is the idea of like, why are they changing for them? Like what's actually happening? And the thing you have to understand is they're not changing for another person. They're changing to manipulate another person. Narcissist does not change for another person. A narcissist, the only way a narcissist can change is for themselves. Of understanding, hey, this is who I am, being honest, being vulnerable, and having consistent change. This is who I am. And I'm going to approach that, identify that, deal with the shame, work through it, get into therapy, and start on that growth pattern. But a narcissist won't do that. So as a result, they'll continue to manipulate and they'll continue to change and morph for another person in order to manipulate them to be that supply, to get what they want out of that other person. The other thing you have to think about is oftentimes when they go to a different supply, there's different values there. Like there's different things that person wants. What you want might not be the same thing that they want. The rules might be different in each relationship. And a lot of times people think like, wait, like they're changing in this regard. Let's say you came into the relationship and you're like, hey, like I just want us to be, I don't know. I just want us to be like financially secure. So there was just like money there that they held back and like held that. And then you go to the next relationship and the next person doesn't care about money at all. Doesn't care if they're controlled, manipulated by it or anything like that. So the narcissist doesn't even bring that up. But they'll find another thing that person wants and they'll hold that back. And that's where sometimes people get confused of like, wait, like they look completely different or they changed or they got better. They might have like changed something, but it was just to manipulate and to put themselves in a position of power over another person in a different area because that person might have different values than you. So there's going to be different triggers. There's going to be different pulls. There's going to be different ties that the narcissist can use to control, to manipulate, and to get what they want out of the other person. So when you think about the narcissist in the next supply, what I want you to understand is you're signing on for a production the longer that you watch. That's why you block. That's why you ghost. That's why you go no contact. Because otherwise you are signing on to get hurt, to let them trigger you, to let them control you, even if they don't interact with you. Because they're still putting stuff out there. They're still putting out little trails, little tidbits out there to be able to trigger you and to be able to have control over you.